release, instead of Donald Trump's Remain in Mexico policy, where people who are claiming asylum were told to remain in Mexico while those claims were processed. Joe Biden has been taking everybody who claims asylum, whether they actually have a good asylum claim or not, and has been releasing them into the interior of the United States. 300,000 border apprehensions in December alone. Under Joe Biden, between January 2021 and April 2023, there were 4.9 million border apprehensions. During the entirety of the Trump administration, there were 1.6 million border apprehensions. That is over a full 4 years. Joe Biden tripled those numbers in just over 2. Now, in order to claim asylum or refugee status, essentially, do they just say magic words?
They do.
It's like Michael Scott walking into the office and saying, I declare bankruptcy.
All they have to do, they don't have to give a reason. In the past, they had to give a reason. Now, all they have to do is say, the magic word is, I fear going back to my country. And once they say that, then they have to be processed for release.
We're down here at the San Miguel Gate. This is one of the places where illegal immigrants show up en masse. And there literally is a sign that we saw that says, press the button and Border Patrol will be here soon to help you. As though you're arriving at the local Hilton and you need the bellman to escort you up to your room with your luggage.
I've never seen morale lower in my 25 years, ever. The joke is we're no longer the Border Patrol, we're the Welcome Patrol.
What's going on, everyone? Saucer Kenny here today, and we're going to be talking about the battle over the southern border. As you saw from the intro, Ben Shapiro decided to visit the southern border in light of the fight between Texas and Biden, and we're going to dive more into it. I got a couple clips for you guys queued up, but let's just get a general synopsis of why Ben Shapiro decided to go. Shapiro talks over with Border Patrol agents and mothers whose sons were killed by illegal immigrants. So this is highlighting the negative aspects of mass immigration, open borders. And the release of the docuseries come as the Biden administration spars with Texas over control of border enforcement. Texas Governor Greg Abbott has argued that his state has a constitutional right to defend its border as the Biden administration has moved to take away its border enforcement tools. 25 Republican governors across the country has aligned themselves with Texas. And I think this is a good thing, right? I think that coming together and actually standing up for yourself is actually a good thing. And you got a lot of these Democrats trying to call Biden to federalize the Texas National Guard to gain control over the border. But conservatives have an argument that this is a dereliction of duty. You're neglecting your responsibilities, Biden. You're supposed to look out for the interests of the people, right? And this is part of Ben Shapiro's Divided States of Biden, which is, I think that's a great title, right? And a lot of these liberals like to pretend that Trump is so divisive. Trump is so, divider in chief. The reaction to Trump is what's divisive, right? Trump will say something like, hey, we need to build a wall. Liberals get so butthurt about that worldview, and then they push people away. I already did the stat somewhere. Majority of Democrats block their Republican friends or friends they found out were Republican. It's them making the divide, not conservatives. Conservatives are fine being in the same spaces as Democrats. It's Democrats that don't want to be in the same space as conservatives. And them pulling away want to act like, oh, look, Trump is dividing the country. No, it's your response to Trump that you divide the country. Trump says he backs the Texas and border fight, vows to work hard in hand with border states to stop the invasion. And this could be considered an invasion. Right? Here's a story. 25 Republican governors back Texas in escalating border standoff with the U.S. government. And the funny part is, if you're new to politics, Democrats used to agree with control migration, not this open border policy. And in this clip I'm about to show you, it highlights that they found a reason why they want to support open borders. Because before, in the 2000s, they were known as the Labor Party, the Union Party. Hey, we got to protect American unions. And mass migration is a big threat to unions. It doesn't take a rocket science to understand that. So when Democrats used to value America, they used to be against immigration. Now that they found that, we can gain something from immigration, instead of cocaine, fentanyl, and drugs coming through the border, Democratic votes are coming through the border. So why would a Democrat say, hey, I want less Democratic voters? No, I want more. That's how they treat open borders. Oh, give me more Democrat voters. Come on. Come in. We need more of you guys so we can stay in power, stay in control. That's the trade-off that the Democratic Party is making now. If you don't believe me, I got clips for you. Let's take a look at how the Democratic Party used to respond to the border. Let's take a look.
This is now basically complete. Maybe they'll need a moat. Maybe they want alligators in the moat.
Secure our borders with technology, personnel, physical barriers if necessary in some places.
I voted for a fence. I voted unlike most Democrats, and some of you won't like it. I voted for 700-mile fence. And let me tell you something, folks. People are driving across that border with tons, hear me, tons of everything from byproducts from methamphetamine to cocaine to heroin. It's all coming up through corrupt.
So as you can see, they changed on the issue. What made them change on the issue? They found out they could gain something from it. Typical politics, right? And I showed a clip about Joy Reid before, but she said Texas is no different than Deep South resisting integration. We don't have this is people who don't respect the sovereignty of America. America is a sovereign nation. It has an ability to refuse people coming into its border. And I think this is an unpopular issue for the Democrats. And I think this idea that they can keep trying to gaslight people into feeling sympathy and sorry for these migrants. Oh, look, we compare Chip Roy to an old Southerner. And this doesn't make any sense to me, right? Because as a nation, you're supposed to look out for your own interests, not the interests of the world. And a lot of these Democrats, I think the problem is that they see asylum seeking or asylum as a human right when it's not. Asylum seeking is a privilege because end of the day, like I said, the fight here is people don't know how to distinguish a right from a privilege. A right is something you can do without the consent of another. A privilege is something you need the consent of someone else to be able to enjoy or use. Okay, if the country said, "Hey, I don't want you here," do you have a right to just go into the border? No, you don't, because then they'll be in the right to defend themselves. If you say, "Hey, I don't want to invite you in my house," and the person still shows up anyway, you have the right to refuse them. It's the same concept. But for some reason, if it's out of sight, it's out of mind for a lot of these liberals. Right? So, but I digress. So I heard some stories going on that the Senate Republicans are casting doubt on linking the Ukraine aid to a border security bill, so they want to pass the Ukraine thing by itself, acknowledging that the policies have been complicated by former President Donald Trump's campaign. McConnell has been the most staunch advocate for aid to Ukraine, right? And this is Glenn Greenwald. The desperate and urgent maneuvering being done by the establishment wings of both parties trying to get $60 billion more for Ukraine is something you rarely see them do when it comes to bills that would actually improve the lives of Americans. And it is true. Look, this is a big talking point of mine, but mass migration hurts minorities. Mass migrations encompasses a lot of low skill work. They have the lower bar of entry. Of course, those fields will be flooded with these applicants. It will lower wages, supply and demand. This is why when Democrats used to be the union party, they fought against that. Hell, some protesters, some Democratic protesters, some Democratic left-wing organizations used to get very militant with that. They used to hang out by the border in California, and they used to beat up Mexican immigrants, especially the illegal ones. Come in their little truck, and then when they see y'all come over, they used to beat the hell out of you. And then they want to pretend that right-wing people are extremists. When if you look in the history of the Democratic Party and a lot of their organizational groups, they used to be violent towards other people, the same way that Antifa is violent towards people of opposite opinions today, right? So another part of the saga is Greg Abbott. I mean, he's at the center of all this. Greg Abbott is very smart. The Supreme Court didn't actually order Texas to do anything, right? So this idea, this narrative that the Democrats are showing that, oh my God, Texas is disobeying court orders. No, he's not. That's just a liberal framing. The court gave Biden regime permission to do something. That means Biden, you're allowed to go cut the fence. And all Greg Abbott is saying, come cut it. Doesn't mean I'm not going to put more. Doesn't mean I'm going to stop what I'm doing. This is the perfect response. Focus on what you can do, not what the other person can't or can't do. Focus on what you can do. That's what I've been trying to tell black people all this time, but they don't want to listen. They just want someone to blame. Those are very two different things. Texas is simply laying more wire and moving in more resources. The courts didn't ban that. Exactly. Also, the courts defer on the majority of the case that it is still before the Fifth Court. Abbott is exploiting this window to rally more governors, more personnel, and to secure the moral high ground. Good for Abbott, good for Texas, good for America. Hold the line, Texas. I can't disagree with that, right? So here's the Texas Democrats call on Biden to seize control of the National Guard. Now, in my view, this is going to be bad optics. because I think most Americans agree that, hey, we need to put some type of restriction on the border. And the bill that they're talking about, like, no one knows what's in this bill because apparently the Senate don't want to even give you the name of this bill. But they're saying, hey, it's a compromise. And Trump is like, nah, I don't want that. You don't need a compromise. That's what Trump is saying. And then the establishment Republicans are here trying to slander Trump, saying, oh, he just wants to keep the issue so he can continue running on it. That's not y'all not fixing anything. Allowing 5,000 migrants a day is not fixing what the issue here. The issue is America doesn't want any migrants coming through that border. That's the ideal situation. That's why everyone wants the Secure the Border Act. If you don't know what the Secure the Border Act is, I recommend that you look it up online. But that's a bill that will actually address the problem. Hey, keep their butt in Mexico, have them wait at Mexico, or if you pass multiple countries and multiple countries to get to the U.S., you're automatically denied asylum because you miss your chance to go to Ecuador, Honduras, Mexico. You skip all those countries to come straight to America. No. Your asylum request is rejected. That's what the Secure the Border Act was done. This is why you got Democrats like what's his name, Max Frost. I think Maxwell Frost is his name, but I call him Max Frost. That's why he's calling these the Republicans a bigot if they try to pass this bill. But it's actually what America needs right now. And these Democrats, they're so authoritarian. They want to act like this is going to be bad optics. All this talk about Trump being a dictator and all this stuff, when during January 6th, he had the biggest opportunity to play that card. He didn't. But look at Biden. If Biden federalizes the National Guard, I think it's going to be a bad look. But before I end off this video, I want you to see this clip from Ted Cruz going off about the compromises that the Republican leadership like to make and how it doesn't really push a Republican conservative agenda. Let's take a look.
Biden border crisis is an absolute humanitarian disaster. And Democrats don't care. Last year, 853 migrants died crossing illegally into this country. Alejandro Mayorkas didn't even know how many had died because he didn't care. When I brought 19 senators down to the border, we saw a man who had drowned floating in the Rio Grande. Democrats don't care. Last year, thousands upon thousands of children were brutalized and sexually assaulted by human traffickers, and Democrats don't care. Last year, thousands of women were sexually assaulted by human traffickers, and Democrats do not give a damn. Last year, more than 100,000 Americans died of drug overdoses from Chinese fentanyl flooding across the southern border, and Democrats do not give a damn. Now, you may say, oh, come on, that's harsh. They care. They care. Somewhere in their hearts, they care about all the people suffering and dying. Baloney. Because if they cared, they would stop it. If you cared about the children being raped at the border, you would say no more. When Joe Biden came in, we had the lowest rate of illegal immigration in 45 years. He inherited success, and he deliberately broke it. Democrats want these open borders. And this bill, this mysterious bill, that is buried down in the basement of Chuck Schumer's office. All of you have a living as reporters. Ask yourself, why have you not read the text of the bill? There's a reason. As bad as we think the bill is, I promise you it's worse. The people pushing this deal know if the American people knew what was in it, they would be against it. This supplemental bill is a kamikaze plane in a box canyon with no exit, headed for a train wreck. If you look at this bill, the bill is not designed to fix this problem. By the way, the single greatest national security threat to America, this right here. I think the odds of a major terrorist attack in the United States are higher today than they've been any time since September 11th. You know what? In that spike, how many Hamas terrorists are there? How many Hezbollah terrorists are there? And what are we going to say when they carry out an attack here like October 7th in Israel? This bill is not designed to fix the problem. This bill normalizes 5,000 people a day coming in. 5,000 people a day is over 1.8 million a year. That's called an invasion. By the way, under Joe Biden, we've had 9.6 million. So the great Republican compromise is we're for 2/3 of Joe Biden's open borders. We'll let in 6 million instead of 9 million. This makes utterly no sense. And there's a reason. Republican leadership is like Charlie Brown with Lucy and the football. And over again, they run for the football, and over again, Lucy Schumer pulls it away. And Republican leadership lands on their ass. They entered this negotiation saying, we will only do what Chuck Schumer will agree to. He doesn't want to fix this.
You seen that? You heard that, right? This is the biggest thing. When they say, oh, we pass a nonpartisan bill, usually it means conservatives conceded. Conservatives compromise, and the Democrats barely compromise. They still got what they want. It's just in a less restricted manner. When we want no border, like we want no border crossings. The Democrats say, oh, we still want border crossings. How about instead of 9 million, we make it 6 million? Like that's the difference. So instead of saying, oh, look, it's 9 million people at the border, we compromised and got it down to 6 million. It's still a problem. You still haven't closed the faucet. We're still allowing water into our buckets, and we don't have enough buckets to keep the water. That's migration. Look at all the sanctuary cities complaining about the drain on the social systems. Oh my God, we're under budget. We had a $12 billion deficit, quoted by Eric Adams of New York, the mayor of New York. He's negative $12 billion. He has to make cuts on police. He had to make cuts on other programs to balance the budget to be able to afford the migrants coming into this border. Yet they expect Texas to just take it all on their own. All these 300 million migrants a day, all on their own. As you saw from the beginning of the intro, Biden has more people cross his borders under his guidance in 2 years than Trump did in his entire presidency. But they still want to pretend that, oh yeah, the border's secure, No, we want to put more money into processing the border. Hey, we want to add more buckets to contain. But end of the day, this doesn't help anybody. It only hurts us. This is the reality of mass migration. I already said, look, mass migration not even helping global poverty. Oh, these people come from a poor country. It doesn't matter. They come over here and they're going to be in even a worse situation, to the point where they have to commit crimes to make ends meet. But you want to bring them over here? At the expense of who? The American people. You giving them free health care. You giving them plane tickets to fly whatever they want. This is why the border patrol don't like. That's why they quit their jobs. This is why they call the Border Welcoming Committee, not the Border Patrol Committee. These migrants don't even respect the Border Patrol. They're like, oh yeah, there goes the bellman. He's supposed to take us in. That's how they get treated. People don't respect and appreciate your country. They treat America like a doormat. And as you know from a personal experience, we all know some kid and some guy, some person we know that was a doormat, and we see how he gets treated. They get taken advantage of. They get abused. They get manipulated. They get taken advantage of. And that's how these migrants, a lot of them, see America today. And when we as conservatives, we want America to actually stand up for itself, take its own interest into consideration, you get these same people in the Democratic side try to gaslight and demonize us because we want to actually respect the boundaries of our nation. This is ridiculous, but I digress. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. I really like to hear your thoughts on this matter. I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.